Now I'm delighted to be joined here by Sam Verdon, the goal scorer on the night. Sam, your first El Clasico back with Longford. What are your thoughts on that game?
Yeah, it's great to get a win, I suppose. The longer the game went on, you're thinking to yourself, Jesus, are we going to get a goal here? Because I think we did dominate the game, and like I said, the longer it went on, you're starting to worry, and they couldn't nick one, and so it was a good time to score. And I think once we scored, I think we killed the game off really well, really professionally, and I think there was only really one winner out there tonight, I feel, and I think we played really well.
It's like you haven't left, you're after scoring in your last two games in a row now, back into the middle of it after your injury at the end of last season. Yeah. How good is it that you can just, you're after coming back in, there wasn't really any bit of rust on your part, you were just straight back into the team and back scoring goals?
Well, to be honest, I found it quite difficult after being injured to kind of find me touch and find me match fitness and stuff like that. But in fairness, Neil's put me straight in, showed a lot of confidence in me, and just delighted to be back in. I think this team suits me and allows me to get in the box hopefully and score a couple of goals. So yeah, really delighted to be back and scoring. Obviously, is a bonus.
Coming back into the team, it's a relatively new team again this season, but I think our squad depth is a lot stronger than last year. How was it when you came back in and seeing the lads you were up against for places?
Yeah, look, I think I've said it before, there's 20, 21, 22 players here that are really vying for places, and you can't take your foot off the gas, whereas last year, not that we did take our foot off the gas, but I think sometimes you're kind of struggling to fill the squad, especially towards the end of the season with injuries and suspension. So in fairness to Neil and Dara, they've put together a really strong squad of really competitive players, and it's really driving us all on, and you can't rest on your laurels. You need to perform every week to keep your place. We're
the only unbeaten team now in the first division. We're not going to let that get too big of us, but the consistency so far we've shown has been great in terms of getting results, and especially defensively this year compared to last year. We're not conceding anymore.
Yeah, I think we've only conceded once this year, I think, so that's really an improvement from last year. I think we were always really good going forward last year, and I think we still are this year, but one thing I've noticed is we're a lot more solid. We know when to supposed to kill a game off like we did tonight when we went 1-0 up. We don't have to go chasing it second, third, fourth. We can really just sit in as a group and protect what we have and don't take stupid risks and take the 3 points.
The first division is a lot more competitive this year, as Athlone have showed. They're a completely different side than last year. Last year's El Clasico here, it was a 1-1 draw. It was a very dull sort of game, whereas this game was a lot more entertaining. The two squads are a lot more competitive. How hard is it when you go from expecting a team to play a certain way, and then the next season they're just completely different again?
Yeah, I think last year it was kind of, you're going to expecting what scores are going to be today, and that's no disrespect to Athlone last year, but in fairness, the pitch they've got here now is fantastic. And I only said to lads there when we're doing a warm down, Jesus, look at the cars trying to get out. It's full. It's great. Last year I think there was only probably less than 100 people here, which is it's tough to play in, and I know that's not an excuse, but it is. Whereas tonight it's a great crowd, great atmosphere, and good pitch, and we're out to go, and that suits us, pitch like that, and we're out to go and play our football and, like you say, win the game.
You've seen the crowd we had here, at least 200 Longford fans here tonight. We're not the biggest club around, but we do pack travelling sport when we come to Athlone. How good was it when you were walking out of the tunnel to hear that roar? And I know Aid Irvin's been hounding everyone every week about how important this derby is. How good was that to hear all the fans?
Well, to be honest, like I said, I didn't really know how big this game was until tonight when you see an Athlone crowd there. Obviously our crowd are always there, so they've been brilliant. I know it's not the biggest club in Ireland, but it's an absolutely brilliant club, and I'm delighted to be back here and playing for those fans.
Shelbourne lost tonight 2-1 to Cove, and I think Bray lost to Wexford, if I'm not too mistaken. This has shown how this division is wide open for anybody. Shells were favourites at the start, and maybe Bray behind them, and even Drogheda, but Drogheda have fallen back as well. Longford have been the most consistent so far, but it does show that this division is anyone's for the taking.
Well, it is. It's, in fairness, last year I suppose the UCD kind of ran away with it towards the end. This year it's Brave lost, I think, 2 in a row now, and Shells have lost a couple. So it's a really competitive league, and I think we're right up there now with a game in hand as well. So it looks really good on us. Massive game next week now against Shells next Saturday. So obviously we'll be hoping that the fans will be back there next week in the City Calling, and hopefully we can really push on this year and try and get promotion, because that's what this club deserves and that's what everyone's fighting for.
Speaking of Shells, you fancy a few goals against Shells yourselves. There's been a few mad moments in the last few games against them. I think the best moment for me last season was your second equaliser against Shells, just the day after Paddy's Day. You ran over to the fans straight away. I think Chris Mahal kicked the bloody pole in the middle of celebrations.
That was funny. You went down trying to fake an injury then as well, wasting time.
you know, games between ourselves and Shells are always entertaining, so you're obviously looking forward to that game next Saturday.
Yeah, I think they're great occasions. Obviously, Shells will probably bring a good support now as well. They've obviously strengthened a lot this year as well, so it's proven to be going to be a great game. And look, we'll see what happens. We're going to go out there and we've got confidence. We'll play our football and we'll see where it takes us. But, really excited for it.
Just no sendings off.
Well, we'll hopefully not. Hopefully not.
Right, that'll do it.
Cheers.
Fair play, Sam.
Thanks, Sam.